People are physical beings, and being a physical means that we act and live in sync with laws of physics. It's all about the energy. So if you want to live, if you want to move, if you want to do something, if you want to be creative, you need energy. It's about the energy flux. We can imagine energy flux as an electrical wire and electrics flowing through it. The wider the wire is, the more electricity can come through in a certain time. And it's the same with our energy flux. So the wider it is, the more energy can come through. So we should work to widen our energy flux as much as possible to have more energy. But on the other side, in average, we are only able to use 20% of the energy from our energy flux. I said in average, some people more, some people less. Why? Because 80% of our energy may be trapped in some different stories, like from old experience that were negative, that affected us, from stress, from fears, from worries we have for certain projects, for certain issues, and so on. So this energy is trapped and we cannot use it. So it's to widen the flux, to have it more for our everyday life, for all we do, for business, for leadership, for projects, and for also for family, friends, hobbies. So there are two principles. We can get more energy to widen the flux, or to work on this trapped energy to somehow release it and to be able to use it for our creative part of life. What's easier? I would say that from the mental point of view, it's easier to work on this to widen it, because it's about our physical body. We should be strong, so doing exercises, we should eat healthy food, we should drink fresh water, we should walk, get enough oxygen, we can sleep more or enough, we can meditate. This is all a matter of discipline and practice. But it takes time, and we have to be disciplined all the time. On the other side, working on this trapped energy, we can release it quite quickly if we know where it's trapped. So if it's like my conflict I have with you today, I can do it manually on my own in the evening or just after I see it's trapped. There might be an old traumas from your childhood and so it takes more time. But still, I would suggest to work on both, because one is practice and everyday routine. The other one, when you do it forever. It can get still trapped with new events, but still, if you work on both, it will be the best. I really don't support the idea of work-life balance, because for me it's just life. We can't divide energy flux to business, private life, hobbies, family. The energy flux is energy you get, and you can use it for you to be alive. You can use it for your work, to be creative, to lead, to manage, to create, to co-create, for meetings, for brainstormings. And you can use it also for your private life, and you have it with your family, with your friends, spending time for your hobbies. Of course, there are some activities that take more energy, and some activities when you can get more energy, that fill you, recharge you. So that's good to somehow spend the energy wisely, in harmony, through all your life activities. In business, we can improve energy in a way that we somehow manage or handle the group energy of the whole team. It's always one is the weakest part in the chain. So we should work as leaders and managers on the energy of the whole team. How can we do it? Again, it's the same. Everyone should take care for his or her energy. And on the other side, we as leaders are responsible that working environment supports people, that don't drain their energy, but supports people that they can be creative, they can express themselves, that are energy when they can be open, creative, they can brainstorm, and so on. Business was always meant as a man job, especially in the past. So it was mainly the masculine energy. So focus, action, dedication, adventure. People have both energy, masculine and feminine. Now we talk a lot about to bring more women into business. I agree with that because men usually have more masculine energy and women brings more feminine energy. But still, I would rather focus towards one person, because if one can live with a balanced masculine and feminine energy, we can say feminine energy brings creativity, softness, openness, intuition, inspiration, passion, and so on. So if it's inside me, both this focus and action, and this inspiration and passion and creativity, if it's balanced, I can fly. To be aware of the energy, where it goes, where it's trapped, how much do we still have, and when it's time to recharge, it's about our awareness, about our consciousness. And it's our responsibility to manage it wisely. Because I can always push harder. If I push over my limits, I'll get on minus bottom line. It will take energy from my adrenal glands, and on a long run, it doesn't work. So we should be aware where we spend our energy, and we should train that. It's a training, like reading, like speaking, like playing an instrument. We can train to be aware what we do with our energy. And first exercise to do it is to be aware of our feelings. That it becomes our habit. How do I feel in every moment? And we should be trained for that. And it's again practice and discipline. When we do it, we'll be able to observe how do we spend our energy. Another very important, let's say, practice or awareness is about, are we in autopilot or are we conscious what we do? If we are in autopilot, we usually react on something and not act. And when we react, it's not everything conscious. And then we usually spend more energy. Joy is the energy connected with passion, with creativity, with enthusiasm, with inspiration, and it's very high on the emotional scale. And if we are in joy's inner state, so joy is not making jokes and fun, but it's about having good time at every moment internally. And if we are able to work from joy, we can't suffer. And if we don't suffer, we don't spend our energy in that suffering part. We can focus it to be creative. We can focus it to have good relationships. When we have good relationships, we can only win. There is no other option. That's why I stand behind that joy should be the lowest energy we should work in. Energy state we should work in. Is it always possible? Not. But it can be our goal. I usually say that when we are not in joy, we shouldn't work. It's again hard. Sometimes it's easy. I can say, I'm sorry, my team, I really don't feel okay today, and I need maybe a day off. I need 2 hours off, and we reschedule the meetings. Sometimes it's just not possible. I fully support the idea that if you are not in joy, it's better not to work. It's better to find out what's limiting you to be in joy, to release that limit, that burden, that block, and to come back. Because when you are in joy, you will be like super effective, like 5-10 times more effective as if you are not in joy.